with Raju Prajapati.
Welcome, Trisha. How are you?
Thank you. Hi, Raju. I'm fine. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah, it's a pleasure is all mine because you accepted the like we wanted to have a kind of conversation about IRMA. Basically, from actually how to get into IRMA because this is something. So today we are going to discuss a journey to IRMA with Trisha. Let's start with. So Trisha, my first question is like, when did you thought of getting into the IRMA, or when did you thought of getting and doing MBA?
Right. So let me just start by just introducing my background, my educational background. So I have a bachelor's degree, a BTech degree in food technology from Amity
Mhm.
Institute of Food Technology. So that's part of Amity University Noida campus, and it's a
Mhm.
four-year degree. And I think at around the end of my second year degree, so when I started my third year, that's when I decided that I want to appear for different entrance exams. And at
Mhm.
that time I thought of attempting both gate and cat. And after I think 5 to 6 months, that's when I decided to pursue and dedicate all my time towards cat full time. I think when pandemic started, so I had
Okay.
around 10 to 11 months of time to prepare for cat and other exams, and that is when I started preparing. And IRMA was obviously one of my top options because I had known about the college from before, and the advantages I can have as a student there based on my educational background and other things as well. So that was my motivation, and I had applied
All right.
there as well.
So wasn't it hard to select? A lot of people are really confused about either. Well, come a point of doing masters, so they'll be confused. Either they have to go for MTech or doing masters from these technical subjects, and sometimes will be confused
Right.
that no, we have to do CAT or not. So how to choose between both of that? Like either we have to just see the instinct that either I want to do something managerial or I want to do research, or what should be the points or on a basis so that we could select.
Right, right. When I was when I was pursuing my BTech at the time when I started coaching,
Mhm.
taking up preparation for entrance exams, there were basically three options. So one was either continue in the same field, pursue MTech through GATE, or even apply abroad for masters. The second one was
Right.
change my career path to CAT and apply to MBA institutes. And the third one was naturally take up a job after BTech. So the
Right.
reason why I pursued CAT full time and went ahead with an MBA was because I was in the COVID batch. So my final year was in the year 2020, and I had kind of, I had an idea of what the job scenario was like at that time. And to
Okay.
be honest, for for BTech freshers,
So,
especially in food technology, it wasn't looking that great. So I ruled out the job option and made sense for me to continue my studies.
so
And between cat and gate, I felt I was more interested in cat. And in terms of just looking at it from a practical perspective, in terms of my future opportunities and the kind of sector I would be getting into, would I be a good fit in that role or not? And it was a tough decision. I was really passionate about food technology. I was also really dedicated student in Amity as well. But it was a hard decision, and I'm glad I took the leap. And I think if it comes to other aspirants, it's you know it should be on the basis of their personal choice, and they should also look at the scenario, what the actual practical scenario is like out there, and then make the decision.
right, right. Although it becomes very subjective to choose, and but I believe someone should. I mean, any students or who is just about to pass BTech or no, just thinking about the career. So they should decide what their priorities are. Either they want to get a job, either they want to do research something. So
Right.
I believe this should be written down, jotted down, and they should select one of them because it is really a very tough decision. Because what I felt till the journey till now with and discussing with a lot of students, we don't have a clarity in food technology because I also have a same background of food technology. When we were
Right.
in BTech, we couldn't have very clarity that either if I'm going to do a job, I'm ending over 20,000, 30,000. And generally speaking, a BTech guy who's doing 4 years of and spending lakhs of rupees, it doesn't match,
The
So
ROI,
totally.
if you look at it, right? Exactly.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah. And so I just want to dig up a little bit earlier. So, did you choose BTech for technology or just land up, because a lot of people generally don't think of doing BTech in food technology. So, how did you get there in food technology? What's so unique about that?
So I'll be honest, my I was genuinely passionate about the subject because I come from a food industry background. So my
Oh,
father is also in this field. I've seen him work in different food industries, and he's from NDRI. He's a dairy
oh,
technologist,
nice.
and so I have a similar. I have that kind of upbringing. I've seen the way he works, and I was honestly inspired by that. And initially, that
Mm-hmm,
was my that was my motivation to pursue the same path. But
mm-hmm.
eventually the scenario from 30 years ago is not the same as it is now, right? So
True.
that is when I had to evaluate and really see the pros and cons of everything. And um, that is why I made the decision to switch. But otherwise, what was unique about my field was, I think, I get to study all aspects of food and not just
Mm-hmm.
one particular niche like dairy, or if you see food chemistry or anything like that. You get to study a holistic, you have a holistic understanding of all everything about food, its processing, its
Right.
chemistry, engineering, everything. So I think I really liked that. And back then, the future opportunities sounded really good, and I'm sure there are many people who have gone ahead and really done great in that path, but it just didn't seem like a good fit for me anymore. That's
Right,
why.
right, right. Okay. So, generally, when we think of MBA, we have to do a lot of, it's not like a CAT and NIPTing exam. Through GATE, we can get. And well, coming to masters or MTech, also, we have a lot of examinations like ICR, CUT, like came last year. We have also a lot of examinations like CAT, JAT, CMAT. So, when you start preparing for any related exams like in CAT, and either it was a full time or you started from the between of second year or third year.
I started in the beginning of my third year. So I had a good more than 20 months of preparation. And it was a mix of both offline and online. When the COVID lockdown took place, that's when I had to shift to complete online mode. But before that, I had a mix of both online and offline. And it was purely towards CAT. And towards the last 6 months, I also started taking mocks of different exams as well. So I had taken CAT and XAT because both were
Okay.
around the same time. There's only like a 1 month gap between CAT and XAT. And I think the other exam patterns are similar to these two. These two are the major ones which a lot of colleges also accept. So this is the
Okay.
reason I purely dedicated my time for these two exams in particular.
Okay, during the whole preparation, what was the crucial time that you felt like, okay, now, because any preparation journey, what I feel like, you get a lot of phases, right? You start with a very enthusiasm, then after the month, or you think, okay, this thing also is coming up. Okay, let's catch up. Again, then between that, you feel like, oh no, it's just not doable. Let's leave. Then again, you get. So there are a lot of ups and downs. So what was the crucial point for you?
Right. You're actually right about the ups and downs because, firstly, because it was the pandemic time, and I was also in my final year, which is a crucial year, and that entire year becoming online plus balancing my CAT preparation was honestly difficult. So I think in the month of July, August, when people start
Mhm,
taking mocks on a regular basis,
mhm.
that was a very crucial moment for me. Because initially, I'll be honest, I wasn't able to do well. I wasn't able to perform up to my expectations. But I think it's all about being consistent. So I tried to, even I tried not to get disheartened with my score, and identify my weak areas and build upon it gradually. And that the last 6 months were extremely important. And obviously, 1 month before the actual exam date is when you give it your all. You repeatedly take mocks. That's when you're honestly done with all your concepts, shouldn't be having major doubts. And that's when I gave my best, and rest is all history.
You're right. Generally, if someone is from medical background, okay, let's say generally in food technology or agriculture background, we come from two backgrounds. Okay, one is from medical background. I'm talking about the food technology, and one is from mathematics background. So, what was your
Right.
background, and does it affected any of your preparation? Because CAT is more of a numerical.
Right. So my background is PCB. So I did not have mathematics 11th and 12th. And because I was still able to receive a BTech degree, because I had to take up foundational courses in applied mathematics once I joined Amity. So there was a system like that which they offered. So that initial foundation of mathematics gave me an understanding of how it sort of gave me a background of maths as well. But
Right.
to be honest, even during CAT preparation, the maths that we require there is completely different. And
True.
although they say that, you only need maths till 10th and it's sufficient, you still, need a consistent hand in
True.
mathematics to really do well in that. So I had to really
Yeah.
focus. I did have to focus more on maths. And my logical, like LRDI and verbal, was honestly better. So I was able to spend more time on quant that way. So I knew that's my weak area, and I had to spend more time on that.
Right, right. That was the, very touch point of everyone. Like, no, quant is really because it has a lot
I
of
agree.
tricks.
Yes.
Yeah, and a lot of tricks are there in the quant, and then you're very good at writing. I've seen on your LinkedIn, so yeah, I can feel like you will be really good in that verbal. Okay, so now what generally happens to the people, in first time whenever we appear for the any test, let's say CAT, first time we're giving mock, we generally get 40 or 50 percentile, right? When I was even in 20, it was happened with me. So how should we take that, like, because it is very courageous to it should be very courageous decisions. Once you are getting 40 percentile in the first mock, let it be even cat is in November, you are appearing in January, and people, lot of them, okay, it's not my cup of tea. Okay, now you told just before a while that it was not very good in beginning, but you consistency made you reach to the point where you are right now. Okay, so just tell about that journey, because it is really crucial point of I believe more than 90% of the people, because in first attempt nobody gets 90 or 100 percentile.
Right, right. You're absolutely right. So when I gave my first mock, when I took the first mock, I received around, I got, I think I remember it was around 56 or 57th percentile. And I was very disheartened because I honestly, as an
Happens.
individual, I had started CAT preparation much before, unlike for most candidates, they generally start, I think, just few months before the actual exam or even just a year. But I had a good 20 months ahead. So I knew that, this is the time I really need to buck up. And I think the most important thing about CAT that time and after analyzing my mocks is time management. Really, I really figured out that I wasn't even able to, attempt all the questions in quant, especially, like, not even try, give it a try. So that's when I knew that I had to focus on those areas, really learn to speed up my calculation. And I really believe in consistency. I think, especially in these kind of subjects where you sort of, once you start giving mocks, you sort of get an understanding of what kind of questions are going to come in the paper, what's the pattern
True.
like. So based on that, you can really focus on your strong areas and really work on that and improve your speed. And that is how, like, and even just I think 1 week before the actual CAT exam, I scored around like 82 or 83 percentile, and I still wasn't happy with it. I really needed to give that final push. And but luckily, after I had given CAT and I was sure that I would get above 90 percentile, and when the result was out, I was happy with it. I'd scored around 91, 92 percentile. So it was, I
Nice, really
mean, I
glad.
was happy with my personal success. I know a lot of people
Right, right.
want 95 and up to 99 percentile,
it,
but
it
based on
happens.
my capabilities, yes, I was really happy with
you
the
know
score. So yeah.
True. Actually, we know much better than anyone else in this world. So I believe, whatever we do, and we whatever results we are getting, we are sure of somewhere. We think, while giving any examination till now, also I have given attempted a lot of examinations. So we know somewhere in our mind, in subconscious, "Yeah, now I'm going to get this much," and we know that why we are going to get. So I believe that that's totally fine, because think of, okay, this is 91 and I'm really happy for that. Even it happened for me for the cat, because whatever the amount of preparation that I did and whatever the score that I got, I was happy. Okay, this is the
Right.
enough for me, right? Okay, so generally, earlier back those days in 2020, when COVID started and things got very very awkward, and a lot of things happened, right? We know where we have been in that journey, right? So GDPI was one of the crucial after getting cat results or jet results, it is one of the crucial point, right? That's decide that either you are in or out, right? Even a lot of people have been, I know they have got 95% and 99% and they couldn't get into the college because of that
Right.
VAT and GDPI. So how did you prepare for that?
Yes. So speaking of, first I'll talk about GD. So during my time, we had a mix of both VAT and GD. So in VAT, honestly, I had a strong suit in that because I was genuinely good at writing. So it wasn't very difficult for me to really prepare. All I did was just go through the main topics that are generally asked, the kind of topics that are asked to aspirants, and try to, structure like what should I write and what should the path be like. And generally it's like a three-step process. You write a good introduction or a good problem statement, and then you describe it and
Right.
come up with a solid conclusion. So that is the basic structure for what. And for GD, again, the same thing. It's important to really go through the topics that are currently in trend, and also the ones that most coaching institutes provide on their websites. So they generally mention potential topics that can be asked to aspirants
Can be
this year.
asked, right?
Yes. So during my time, even as an IRMA aspirant, we I made it a point to really go through about the farm laws and all those kind of things. And since my interview was in the month of is was in the third week of February, so by then the budget was also out. So I had to really go through that as well. And these kind of topics, anything
Oh,
current and relevant in the last 1 year, and especially the last 6 months, is crucial. And I think that is the way to go for any GD or VAT preparation.
right.
And come, yeah, if I were to talk about personal interviews, I think the one greatest thing you should do is to be really self aware of yourself. Really know your profile entirely, where you're good at, what you're not good at. And really take a notebook and a pen and just jot down everything you know about yourself, your achievements, your strengths, your weaknesses. If someone has work experience, I don't have any work experience, but if someone does, then the major highlights of their work experience, their major successes, milestones they've achieved, things like that, so that you at least have an idea of what to really say if anything is asked based on any part of your life. And that
Very
is
true.
all that's important. And also especially your subject knowledge as a fresher. Generally they do not go very deep into subject knowledge, at least in my all my interviews, not just IRMA. They did not really go deep into my subject. They just want a very general overview of any topic. They would ask me questions like, you know very basic questions about preservation, and then someone had asked me about coming up with a plant layout, or something about good manufacturing practices, GMOs, and
Okay.
basic concepts like that. Yeah.
And if someone has left or someone is having a gap of 1 or 2 years, how they'll be, and what and you might have experience, what type of question they'll be asking? Either again they'll be asking from the deep subjects, like in your case they ask, or something kind of their work experience or all.
I think if one is able to justify what they did during the gap year, then generally questions can be asked on that. Suppose someone took up online
Okay.
courses, then it's important to really go through what you learned in those online courses, because it shouldn't look
Right.
like you did it just for the sake of it, just because you wanted to show that you've done something. But you should really know and try to apply some of it in some kind of
True.
learnings. And otherwise it's important to be honest in your gap year justification. If someone asks, you should say if someone had a family illness, personal problem, or just you can even mention, I think 1 year is safe to say, it's okay to say that you were preparing for cat or higher
Right.
studies.
They know that,
And it's
right?
okay. Yeah, it's generally accepted nowadays, because some
True.
people honestly need more time to prepare, and it's completely justified.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed on that. Yeah. So, see, Trisha, a lot of other colleges are there. Comfortably, it's not about good or bad. I'm Ahmedabad is there, FABM. I'm Lucknow is there. IRMA is there. NAM, MANIS, NEHAM. A lot of other ABM, rural management or FABM colleges are there, right? So, either you have already decided that you have to go to IRMA, or somehow, fortunately, you got there.
For me, it was, I think, a mix of both. Initially, I was confused about my other options as well. But the one reason I chose IRMA was because, first of all, I kind of liked that they had a bigger batch size. I think that was important for me because I would get to be with a bigger peer group, a larger peer group.
Right.
And not only that, I think I really knew about IRMA in general, about its legacy with Dr. Korean and the kind of work it's doing. And I know it's similar to most premier institutes catering to this domain, this development sector, rural management sector. But uh, what I like about IRMA is it's an institute with a difference. You know, while most
Okay.
institutes offer a general MBA, IRMA is more like an MBA plus. You get to learn the rural side of it as well. And with 70% of India rural, I think it's crucial to understand.
Exactly.
And you really need professional management to, you know, deal with
True.
these kind of situations. And I think the cherry on top was that I was offered a scholarship to study at IRMA. So
Oh,
that was
nice.
an incentive for me as well, that, you know, if I look at it on a practical side, like I get to save, and there's also a higher
Right,
return on
right.
investment for me.
But how it happened? Can you just a little bit tell about this
Sure,
your
sure.
scholarship?
I think this is what aspirants would like to hear. I mean, IRMA is very generous when it comes to scholarships, and they
Mhm.
generally do prefer aspirants from agri allied backgrounds to, they really encourage them to apply because they have several scholarships which are provided on admission merit basis. So it's
Mhm.
like a composite score of your CAT, your personal interview. Back in my days, we had IRMA SAT as well, but now I think they've replaced it with a general written test about rural India or something like that. And
Mhm.
of course, your personal interview. So it's a composite score of everything, plus smaller things like your gender. I think they prefer female aspirants as well. They give an extra weightage to them. People with a
Yeah.
work experience have extra weightage. And even for agri students who are from, ICAR ranked colleges, and who have who are from the reputed ranked who are from reputed ranked colleges, and also those who have work experience, and even those who come from any aspirational district of India in any rural areas or something like that,
Mhm.
they are also preferred. And I think one more criteria was the regarding extracurriculars. If you have a national certificate in sports, or if you have represented your
Nice.
state or district or country at any level for anything, there's a weightage. And these are all found on the website. I would strongly urge aspirants to really go through the website and
Know
see
that.
if they are eligible for these things and put in their best in the PI, because you end up getting a 50% scholarship on admission. And I think it's a really good um, bargain
So,
if you look at it. Yeah.
right, right. What category you got the scholarship at?
Category, as in I'm a general category student.
No, 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 category. I mean,
Sorry.
what scholarship you told that you got this scholarship? So I mean to say, which on the basis of what you got this scholarship and what was the scholars?
Right, right. Oh, okay. Sorry, I misinterpreted your question that time. So mine is the one which I'm talking about only. I got a 50% on admission merit
Okay.
scholarship, and this is generally awarded to top 20 students in the merit list of
Oh,
IRMA.
nice. I got it.
So,
No, no,
and
I
this
got it.
is on the basis of the composite score that one gets, which is
Overall,
on the
overall
basis of,
list.
right, on the basis of CAT, your PI, your written ability test, and all the other parameters I've mentioned. If you're from an agri-allied background, which has an IECR ranked, which is an IECR ranked institute, or NIRF a high ranked institute, any of these institutes. And it's not that they do not favor engineers or any other background students. They do, especially if you're from a really good and reputed college, any NIRF high top ranked college. I don't know if they've set a limit for it, but one will have to check the website for that. But they do look
Right.
at an overall score of every single parameter, and they do not select scholars just on the basis of one particular parameter. So this is one really good thing. And even after a student joins IRMA, there are various other opportunities for scholarships. There are many mean come merit scholarships, and a lot
Oh,
of them are also offered to students of different categories. You have scholarships for SC and ST students, any OBC student, economically weaker section. They are really generous when it comes to these kind of
right.
scholarships.
Very nice, very nice. This thing I was really not aware of, so it
Right.
will really help people. So, like a lot of students ask, look, fee is very high, or this in MBA, general perception, if someone is very with the either they have to take a big loan or someone has to be very financially high on that, right? Okay, so generally, what happens to we while going to any college or while assuming, like let's say if I'm planning to go for AM or anywhere, we had some kind of fascination, right? Let's say if I'm thinking
Right.
about Switzerland, I'll be thinking, oh, this will be like, rivers will be there, big palaces will be there. So we had that perception. So before going to IRMA, you will be having also surely that, okay, IRMA will be like this. We made that illusion, right? So how you were justified with, like, how did you like the campus, how it happens? Or tell about that little bit.
I think as any for any B school aspirant, they always have a certain level of expectations for any college. If you look at it, they have a separate set of expectations for IIM Ahmedabad or and then for IRMA as well.
True.
So if I mean, it would not be good to really compare them on on the same level because these two are completely different institutes.
Right.
So
Right.
it's important to look at IRMA separately and really see how it really stands out in terms of what it has to offer.
Mhm.
So IRMA is
No,
a really beautiful
no,
campus.
no, no.
It's
My
yeah,
question was like something
sure.
different. So we used to have kind of fascinations. Ki, my college should be like these things, right? We used to make our expectations. So these are the facilities will be there. We'll be having this playgrounds or library. So we used to make that kind of you were in Amity and you had all the facilities. So we used to make, so how much it was up to that your fascination or level of expectation, that college campus I'm talking about.
Right, right. I think it sort of meets expectations. Nothing too overboard and nothing too under as well. It meets just
Okay.
about the right expectations. You get basic facilities. Everything is just available over there. And if there is any issue, you have someone to talk to about it. You have your basic. There are recreational facilities. You have a full-fledged 24-hour gym. You have sports facilities, and it's not that
Oh,
it's
nice.
not discouraged there. It's very much encouraged, and in an institute like IRMA you have these things. You have a small shop as well where you can purchase your basic necessities at IRMA itself, and you
Right.
also have and it's a fully residential institute, so faculties and students, everyone stays on campus together. So you have access to them all the time whenever you need anything. And
Mm-hmm.
there's also a library which is open for most parts of the day. I think for roughly 18 to 20 hours. I think it's just not open at night for a few hours. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but otherwise, I think what most B schools have to offer, I think IRMA is at par in terms of facilities and things like that. And it's really good. I
I
mean,
got
you
it.
can, yeah.
I got it. Yeah. So, what is the range of percentile that we can expect a call from IRMA?
Uh, so for agri, there are basically two categories. So generally there's obviously a percentile cutoffs for different categories as well, and there is also a different categorization on the basis of engineering, sorry, agri allied and others. So agri allied have a lower cutoff because they're generally encouraged, so that they can apply
Right.
and they're encouraged to apply. So their cutoff generally goes to up to 80 percentile. So if you have 80 percentile and above, you're welcome to apply at IRMA, and they, I mean, you'll be able to clear the cutoff. And for I think other categories like engineering and your commerce background and other backgrounds,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 85 percentile.
Okay.
And
So
when
if
it comes to, yeah, this is for general. I'm talking about general,
okay.
and then you have for OBCs and STs. I think it's minus 10 percentile for each of them, so it'll be
Oh,
75,
nice.
um,
I
75
got
or
it.
70. Yeah, we'll have to
So,
check the website. It kind of changes every year, plus minus.
right, right.
It's
If
happening. Yeah.
someone is having nearby 80, 85 or 90, so people should be feeling safe. Like I can get a call, right? So
Yeah, you're guaranteed a call. Now it's up to you to convert that,
convert
the
it or not, right?
personal interview. Yeah.
Okay, so generally we know that all the MBA colleges are really having a very good opportunities, right? So what is the placement opportunities in IRMA, and I know it is 100% placements, and what are the types of industry that come for recruitment, and someone wants to go for higher studies further, so what are those opportunities if you want to share?
I think first I'll talk about placements and then higher studies. So in terms of placements, there are you get a mix of all kinds of organizations. To really say that we get only rural opportunities at IRMA is false. Actually, you really get uh, what most B schools have to offer. You have companies from FMCG sector, you have from
Mm,
BFSI sector, you have from development as well, and you also have consulting firms which are very niche. So you have Red Sea Consulting. We had Ernst and Young come this time for placements, PwC, and many other reputed consulting firms. And in terms of FMCG, you have pure sales roles. You also have marketing roles. Then you also
right,
have offers from fintech and other startups. So it's a good mix of everything. And in
everything.
terms of development, you have from very reputed NGOs, you also have from development think tanks and all these kind of government organizations as well.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to higher studies, I would say IRMA offers a really good platform for PhD or any further studies if
Mm,
one
right,
wants to pursue abroad. So we actually have a lot of faculties who have uh, sorry, not faculties. We have a lot of students and who have become alums and have pursued a PhD or a second master's
right.
from foreign universities. And anyone can look them up on LinkedIn. We have people from Harvard, from Columbia, and many reputed
Very nice.
institutes.
Yeah,
But I think most of them generally really go there if they're very passionate about development and wish to study further. So
for
they
that.
mostly have degrees in public policy or they have degrees in development studies, etc. I don't really know if anyone has pursued a second MBA after IRMA, but ones who pursue higher studies
I
go
got it.
into agricultural economics or policy or those kind of more theoretical aspects and policy level, development level, uh,
Yeah,
subjects.
right, right. I got it. Okay. So how's your campus life? Now you are about to pass, and I know you are gonna miss, because every campus life we miss, right? So how is your campus life, and how does you feel like, and you want to share something about us?
I think campus is great. I had my first 6 months of my time at IRMA was online, and then I actually joined 6 months later. So I got to experience the campus for exactly just about 1 year and more than a year, 1.5 years out of 2 years. So I'm definitely going to miss it a lot. We've actually, one thing I really like about IRMA is that they really focus on all aspects. We have a lot of extracurricular activities, and our student committees over here are very enthusiastic. They keep conducting a lot of events related to sports, cultural, be it anything. You really get the entire B school experience here. And that is one thing I'll definitely miss once I start working. And I would really encourage all aspirants that, if you're coming here for an all round development, I think it's really great. You get to not only study, but you also get to focus on an overall personality development here as well, which is a really great opportunity.
Right. So there are just two questions remaining. The
Sure,
second
sure.
last question is you have already placed. So just tell about your experiences, which company you were at, and when you are going to join, and how was your interview experience?
Um, so I don't think I'm allowed to reveal the company right now because the placement report isn't officially out by our institute.
Okay.
But all I can say is that the placement experience is really great. We actually
Okay.
try to wrap up placements within a week. So
Oh, very
mostly,
nice.
generally, almost the entire batch, barring a few, one or two here and there, they end up getting placed within 1 week, which is a really good thing about INMA. They
Really
have a
good.
dedicated time slot, and we have companies coming from various organizations, like I mentioned in the
I got it.
previous question,
Yeah. Right. Right.
and hopefully the average is supposed to be better. I'm not really sure than last time. It looks good so far, but I'm not in the placement committee, so I don't really know the exact details. But
Not a problem. Yeah.
it
Okay.
seems it looks good so far. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So there are a lot of aspirants who will be looking for some of the guidance, and they're going to watch this video. So Trisha, what the last message you want to share with them, and any kind of sort of that is going to really help them to get into Irman and become your of one of your junior, and you will be alumni, of course, when they'll be coming to college.
Right. I think if it's just one thing I want to convey to every aspirant out there, it's to really have an open mind when it comes to
Okay.
IRMA, especially because
Mhm.
coming here with pre-existing expectations will really it won't give you the full experience that IRMA has to offer. So
Right.
I would really suggest to come with an open mind. Be open to learning, be it from anyone. Someone who's even younger than you has some experience to offer, someone
Very
who's
true.
older, all those things. And I also, this is not only to Agri Allied, but to everyone out there. I mean, IRMA is a place for everyone. I think they encourage all kinds of aspirants and different kind of applicants. Agri Allied, obviously, they are really encouraged. So I strongly urge them as well to apply. And last but not the least, I'm sure most of your audience is from Agri Allied. So it would
Right.
be best to even talk to your immediate seniors. I'm sure a lot of their immediate seniors are at IRMA right now or have graduated from IRMA. It's always
Right.
good to, talk to them as well on a one-on-one basis, get to know
Right.
the pros and cons from them.
Experiences.
Because in the end, I am just giving my perspective, but
True.
everyone has something different to say, and it's great to kind of make the most out of what everyone is saying and make a judgment
Right.
out of that, right? So
Yeah,
that's all.
right, right.
Yeah.
So far we have covered everything. Trisha, thank you so much for joining us, and I believe it is going to enlighten a lot about how generally a person who is inside IRMA, how it looks like. Because when we're outside the campus, no, we see a lot of, I was talking about, we imagine, and we think like, oh, this thing should be like this should think, I mean, a different of opinions. Right now they'll be clear of something. So thank you so much.
Right. Thank you so much, Raju, and thank you to everyone at AgriVision for this opportunity. I'm really glad to be here.